queen is invited to the king's chambers to sleep with him. Bong is horrified by the thought and offers the king some alcohol in hopes of him passing out. Fortunately, the king falls to sleep, much to Bong's relief. The following day, Bong wakes up with a hangover and is offered some food. However, she is disgusted by the soggy meal and passes a message to the royal chef to cook ramen instead. The chef is confused by the term, but tries to make the foreign meal based on Bong's instruction. The chef tries multiple times to make the dish, but Bong is dissatisfied with every attempt. The first dish is too healthy, while the subsequent dishes are too bland and spicy. Eventually, the chef becomes upset and gives up. Asking Bong to cook it herself. Bong, who still remembers her culinary techniques, decides to prepare the dish herself, which is pretty sweet because she could have had that cook killed for that lip. Bong enters the royal kitchen and immediately picks up a knife. Her maid is worried because the queen has never attempted to cook since her childhood. Hence, the maid, alongside the other servants, expect her to make a mess of the kitchen. However, Bong starts cutting the vegetables with great speed and precision, much to the servants' surprise. She cuts everything perfectly and at the right size, ultimately cooking a perfect dish. Bong takes the ramen back to her chambers and enjoys the meal with her right-hand maid. Back at the kitchen, the chef is envious of Bong's cooking abilities and proposes that the food simply looks good but doesn't taste nice. To test his theory, the royal chef tries the leftovers remaining in the pot. However, as soon as he has a bite, he is amazed with how good it is, so much so that he even drops his damn spoon. After the eventful encounter, Bong suddenly comes up with an idea. The new queen realizes that she can easily win over the royal family with her culinary skills. The lake was drained by the Grand Queen, so if Bong can please her with some food, she might agree to refill the lake. Bong instantly returns to the kitchen, but the jealous royal chef asserts his authority and refuses to let her inspect the food being served to the Grand Queen. Bong is pissed at this and challenges him to a speed cooking contest. The royal chef initially backs out from the fight, but accepts the challenge after Bong teases him. A servant rings a bell and the contest begins. The head chef takes his knife and viciously cuts a bunch of carrots. However, the queen's hands are faster and quickly cut some cucumbers with ease. After several minutes of cooking, Bong's dish is ready and she is the first to ring the bell, thus winning the contest. The royal chef is upset and argues that though speed is important, taste is the ultimate test of a chef. Confident, Bong agrees and requests the royal cuisine inspector to taste both dishes to see which is better. The inspector is fascinated by Bong's cuisine and declares it is the better dish, prompting her to take charge of the royal kitchen. Bong uses her newly acquired status to her advantage as she analyzes the Grand Queen's meals. Bong discovers from her food choices that the Grand Queen is a picky eater due to her recent development of toothache. Thus, Bong decides to make a meal with a soft texture for the aristocrat. Bong gets to work right away and begins making a potato porridge. First, she pours some milk into the pot and adds the right ingredients, as she occasionally tastes the mixture. Then the potatoes are eventually added to the pot, after which the dinner is served with some flour toppings for a cohesive presentation. Bong is pleased with the final product and delivers it to the Grand Queen herself. The queen greatly enjoys the meal, but highlights that the dish is not perfect as it arrived cold. The temperature change is caused by the perfectly mashed potatoes to lump, hence slightly altering the taste. Also, the porridge spilled on the sides of the plate also affected the presentation. Bong is distraught to hear this and sadly begins